Smoked bacon wrapped pork tenderloin. Hey, welcome back to Smokin' and Drinkin'. I'm Mike, and today we're making smoked bacon wrapped pork tenderloin. Let's get smoking. All right, bacon wrapped pork tenderloin. It's a pretty easy recipe. It's simple ingredients. Pork tenderloin, we've got two of them here. Bacon, and we're going to use our golden hog dust to rub the pork before we get it on the smoker. We're going to smoke with apple pellets, and we're going to start it out at about 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to also make a maple Dijon glaze to go with it. So let's get started here. I've got, as I said, two pork tenderloin here, and I asked my butcher to remove the silver skin. It's not too hard to do. It's pretty much like ribs, removing the silver skin from the ribs. Actually, it's very similar. But I had mine removed if you're lucky enough to get your butcher to do that for you. So what we're going to do here is, so that you can see these are kind of thin on one end. You could cut that off or butterfly it and roll it back so that it's even in size. These aren't too bad. This one's a little thin. I might just take a little bit of that off, but you want it to be fairly even so that you have an even cook. You could use a meat tenderizing mallet and flatten them out to the same thickness, but I like to have that as round as I can for those fillets that we cut off at the end. But we're just going to do it like it is. I think I'm going to leave that on there. If nothing else, we can cut that off. But let's get started. First thing we're going to do is put some gloves on. I'm going to get just a little messy here. We're going to use olive oil as a binder for our golden hog dust rub. You could also use mustard, just standard yellow mustard. I thought since we're using a maple Dijon mustard glaze, I didn't want to mix two different kinds of mustard. Olive oil works well too. So just as with everything, you just want to get a good binder on there so that your rub sticks to the meat. Get it covered real well. So we're gonna coat the tenderloins with our rub completely. So that's pretty good. And then we're gonna take our rub, and as always, you just generous with the rub. Take that lid off, works a little better. It's time to make a new golden hog dust rub. One, I'm almost out, and two, it's a little clumpy. That's kind of a sign that it's time for a new batch. You don't forget the ends. The higher you go, the better your coverage, but also the messier it gets too. But that's okay. Don't want to be wasteful though. Did I forget to flip that over? It kind of looks like it. Oh well. A little extra on the first side. And you just want to rub it in there. Make sure it gets in there real good. All right. A little light on that one. There we go. All right. Then the next step, we're just going to wrap with the bacon. I've got a pound of thin cut bacon. You want to use thin cut. Thick cut, Won't crisp up quite as nice. So I kind of prefer thin cut anyway. So you just want to wrap it just like you would any other appetizer. Um, you could make a weave. I thought about doing that, but since I had two of them, I thought I'll just wrap this way. I've done a weave before. It's kind of cool. A little extra work. This is supposed to be a simple recipe. I want to try and get the bacon tight if at all possible. You don't want it flopping off and getting everywhere. You know what we're going to do? After this slice, I think we're going to move this plate out of the way. It's just causing problems. It'd be a lot easier like that. May have to get another pound of bacon out of the refrigerator. Don't know. Yeah, this might make it. I think it'll probably make it. 1 pound is usually about 12 or 13 slices. I think I've probably got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, we might need some more. We'll see. One more on here. Kind of thin in the middle of that bacon. All right. That little piece is probably going to burn. Be extra done, but that's all right. We can cut it off at the end if we need to. Probably should have wrapped them first. We're just going to go ahead and put a little more of the golden hog dust on there afterwards, but you know, let's try something here. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. Let's try and be a little smarter about what we do. See if this works any better. I'm kind of not too confident about it, but you know what? That's just going to use more bacon and we'll run out. Let's not do that. Let's do it the way we were. I was just going to lay them all out and then wrap them up like a Christmas present, but then you can't really spiral it, you know, like you do. You kind of wrap it along as you go. So that's all right. We'll learn together. I haven't done this one before. Probably could have practiced first, but hey, we'll learn together. You know, who says anything in life is perfect anyway? You know, you do the best you can, and it all turns out delicious anyway. So you can also use butcher's twine or toothpicks to hold it all together. I think we're gonna probably just risk it. I might put a few toothpicks in there. Some of these are kind of loose. But yeah, we'll have plenty of bacon. I might be able to patch up some of those bare spots. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a couple on the end like an end cap. Since we've got them, let's cut that in half. Don't need a full one on the end. Let's get one more. Should have got out my kitchen shears. That would have worked too. Okay, probably should have put them on before and then, it's all right. We're doing all right. We're going to put a couple more just to hold this end together. It's the thin end, so maybe that'll help slow that down a little bit so it doesn't get so overdone on that end. Yeah, that's going to be a little heavy on bacon if I put that many. Let's put one here. Yeah, I think we might need some toothpicks on that end. Anyway, that's the basic idea there. Doesn't look super pretty, but that's all right. Get one hand free. A little more of the golden hog dust. All right. So then get that out to the smoker. I think it should be about preheated. What did I say? 250 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's get that out to the smoker. All right. We're just going to put it right on the grill. Try not to make it fall apart. There we go. All right, we're going to let that go for 60 to 90 minutes. I'll check it at 60 minutes. We want that internal temp up to about 130, and then we'll put our glaze on. So speaking of glaze, let's get started making the glaze. Pretty simple. It's just a maple Dijon, maple syrup, pure maple syrup. Don't use the pancake syrup. You want to use real maple syrup. And just a Dijon mustard will do. But we're going to start off with a 1/4 cup of the pure maple syrup. And then we need 2 tablespoons of our Dijon mustard. My grandma, when she cooked, she never measured. She just pinch of that, dash of this. But oh boy, did she know what she was doing. She knew exactly how much to put in there, and it was delicious all the time, every time. All right, and then we need a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. A teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. I'm not as good as she is. I have to measure mine out. 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire, who's your sister sauce. Oh boy, we're gonna need some more of this. Okay. Then we need a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. We're just going to give it a few turns. This fresh cracked black pepper. And a pinch of kosher salt. I'm going to use sea salt. Not too much of that. And we are going to be making a cocktail a little bit later. And a friend of mine has been talking about a bourbon that he has found, Woodford Reserve. He's been telling me I need to try it, so we're going to try it. This is a premium bourbon whiskey. We're not going to use a lot. We're just going to use a dash. It says 1/4 teaspoon, and that's definitely plenty. But I haven't tried this yet. So 1/4 teaspoon, see how small that is? Probably not even going to be able to. That's like a little dab will do you. That's okay. Just a little touch of flavoring there. We'll come back to that in a little bit. All right, and then you just mix it up. You don't even have to simmer it or anything. We're just going to, actually we are going to simmer it. Just on a low heat, just to kind of thicken it up a little. That's pretty thin. So we'll get it on the stove and we'll simmer it on low, maybe medium, just till it thickens a little bit. I just checked the temp on the pork tenderloin, and it is at 130. So, and we got our glaze. It's been simmering for about 15-20 minutes or so, and we're gonna get that out and glaze the pork tenderloin, and then we'll get it up to, we're shooting for 140 internal temp. So let's get that out there and get it glazed. All right, just gonna spread that on. Be kind of liberal with it. All right, let that go until we're up to 140 on our internal temperature, and we'll get it off. While we're waiting for our bacon wrapped pork tenderloin to get up to 140 degrees, we've glazed it. So we're just going to wait, probably take another 15-20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, but we want it up to 140 internal temp. So while we're waiting on that, we're going to make a cocktail. We're going to make a maple bourbon old fashioned. And like I mentioned, we're going to use Woodford Reserve. I'm going to give that a try. I've been told it is very good. So we got our highball glass, and what we need are 2 ounces of good bourbon. It says in the recipe, this is of course good bourbon. We got our 1 ounce sugar here. We're gonna, you know what we need? We need the ice ball in there. Oh, all right. We need 2 ounces of our Woodford Reserve bourbon whiskey. Okay. Then we need half an ounce of maple syrup. Maple syrup is the theme today. Half an ounce. And then we need 2 dashes of our Angostura bitters. We're using orange bitters this time. I went 3 there just for good measure. And then we need half an ounce of lemon juice. I didn't have a lemon. I have an orange, but not a lemon. So we're just going to use real lemon. What did I say? Half an ounce. And then we just need an orange peel. Got our fresh orange here. Whoops, shot it right in there. And you want to just express a little bit of that orange oil in there. And then we just drop it in there. Can't find my cocktail spoon. It grew legs, I guess. We're just going to drop that in there, give it a stir. Not super pretty, but that's all right. This glass is, it says the Stanley. That is a hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, where they filmed the movie The Shining. We went there on vacation and bought this glass. So anyway, that is the maple bourbon old fashioned. Oh, it's got very fruity, aromatic flavor of the orange peel and the maple flavor. But of course, can't have any just yet. We gotta wait. I'm gonna sneak a peek, sneak a sip. Ooh, wow, that's good. All right, let's wait till our pork tenderloin is up to 140, and then we'll get it in here and get a slice and get to tasting it. All right, I just checked the temperature on our pork tenderloin. It is just about at 140, and I turned the smoker all the way up to about 425. I think it is as high as it'll go. I want to just kind of crisp up that bacon a little bit and tack up the glaze a little more. Let that go about 10 more minutes, and then we'll pull it off and get a taste. We are ready to go pull the pork tenderloin off of the smoker. Mrs. Smokin said, "Come on, Mike, you can do better than that with garnish." So, all right, we'll do better. Just doesn't look very pretty the way I did it. So we'll get us a little cocktail cherry to go with it here. There we go. Making a mess as always. That's what I do. Well, that's a little better. Need a longer cocktail toothpick there. That's all right. It's for drinking, not so much for looking at. Okay, let's go get the pork tenderloin, the bacon wrapped pork tenderloin off of the smoker. Get my other glove. All right. Oh boy. Oh, oh boy. Will you look at that? That smells delicious. Oh, maple and the smoke aroma. Wow, that smells fantastic. I'm not even going to mess with the plate. We're just going to dig right in. Let's get where you can see what I'm doing here. Oh, just slice off some medallions here. Don't lose the bacon. Oh boy. Trying not to tear it apart here so it still looks nice for you. Oh boy. Does that look delicious or what? It smells delicious. All right, let's just get us a bite here. We'll take this one on the end. Well, that's kind of a big bite for TV. There we go. That'll work. Lost the bacon. Oh, wow. Oh, boy. That is... I know you guys probably think I say that every week, because I do. So far, I've been getting pretty lucky. These things have been turning out fabulous, and this is no exception. The smoked bacon wrapped pork tenderloin just lives up to its name. It is a tenderloin. It's tender and juicy and smoky. A little bit of that maple flavor in there. That glaze was a nice topping on there. Can't really taste the bourbon, but you know, we just had a tiny little quarter teaspoon of it, but the maple definitely comes through. Speaking of maple, let's try the maple bourbon old fashioned with the Woodford Reserve. I might have to take a little shot of that just on the rocks too. Oh, even better as it sits a little while. Wow, that is good. That maple bourbon just blends nicely with the pork and the bacon. Oh boy, that, I gotta have another bite. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. That's so tender. Wow, that is delicious. Well, that about does it for the smoked bacon wrapped tenderloin. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Smoking and Drinking. If you like this video, hit that like button. Remember to subscribe. It really helps us out. You can hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of our videos that come out every Sunday morning. And as always, Prost! Mm. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Scott.